one thing that you might not know is how it exactly works. And as of today, if you want to build something like ChatGPT for your own self or maybe for your organization, how can you get started? So that is the things that we will try to tackle today, right? So a very quick introduction about myself and what we do at Build Fast with AI. So I am Satvik. I'm the founder of Build Fast with AI. So about my background, I got educated from IIT Delhi. So graduated around 5 years back. So then worked on a couple of edtech initiatives while I was at college. Then I worked as a data scientist and ML engineer for multiple different banks. So currently, for the last 2 years, we are running this venture called Build Fast with AI. So let me tell a very quick, just 2 seconds about what Build Fast with AI is. So you might have been seeing or following generative AI space. So every day there are 100 different things happening in AI space, right? Let's say. And if you look at how much of these updates are actually being used by companies today, that is not even 5%. Right. So the amount of advances happening in generative AI is not translating directly into individuals or companies' productivity or this thing. So we try to mitigate this gap by turning your AI ideas to reality. So we do offer a lot of courses on AI. So we do workshops, free workshops like the one that you are attending, and we also do consulting jobs where we help companies with their generative AI transition. So these are some of the stats of some of the events and initiatives that we have done. So if there is anyone in the call who is interested in learning about generative AI from scratch, you should consider joining our generative AI launchpad, which is starting soon at the end of the month. So I'll share more details about how you can sign up for this shortly. So having said that, today what we are going to do. So today we are going to discuss some very basic things. So we will try to build a replica of ChatGPT. So uh, first we will try to understand what exactly is happening within ChatGPT. Only when we understand what is happening there, we will be able to build it ourselves. So that would be the first question we will answer. And the second question that we will answer is how we can design a UI. So, however, ChatGPT's colors, ChatGPT's the way of their storing messages. So, how can we imitate their front end? And then we will learn how you can design a front end once you have designed the front end of the application, how you can connect the front end to APIs. So these are the core things that we will be covering in the workshop today. And at the end, I will also show you the bonus of how you can create some games using AI. So let us try to break down the problem statement into multiple parts, and then we will try to tackle each part one by one. So first of all, we are going to use, so the part here that you are going to see is we are going to use GenAI to build GenAI, right? So most of the code that we will be writing today will also be written by GenAI. Okay. So first of all, what we will try to do is, let's say, what are any LLM? So when I'm talking about ChatGPT, I don't just mean ChatGPT, but whenever you are using ChatGPT, what exactly is happening is that you are actually using a text-to-text model, right? So whenever you go to ChatGPT, okay, I don't have that screen open, but the idea is whenever you give ChatGPT a question, it gives you a response back. So this is primarily a text-to-text model that is there. And if we want to build something like ChatGPT, so what is exactly happening here? So how is ChatGPT able to answer? So you are giving a question and you are getting an answer right away. So how is ChatGPT able to understand our question and give a reply back? Right. So what is happening in this is that in the very first step, whenever you say any question, so let's say you say hi and you're getting responses hello. So in this, the what is exactly happening? Uh, this hello hi message is going to ChatGPT, and then it's giving us back the response. It's going to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is giving back the response. So ChatGPT is generally powered by GPT models. So GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini or something. So let's say if you use something like a Google's Gemini model. So if you use a Google Gemini chatbot, you are actually chatting with a Gemini LLM. When you are using ChatGPT, you are actually chatting with GPT LLM. So first, our idea is with this exercise, we will try to take any message and send it to the chatbot and get back the response. So to design a system like this, we any system that we want to design will have two types, right? So the first one is backend, and the second one is frontend. So in the first case, what we will try to do is we will try to look at ChatGPT and we will try to create a front end for the application. So let's say if you want to create anything like ChatGPT, so there are two, three different things that you will want to do. So let me show you this. So what we will try to do in our exercise is that, so for building any application, you will need a backend and front end. So what I will show is we will use Streamlit and React to create the front end of the application, and then we will use LangChain to create backend. So let us get started with the first thing where we will try to get the front end of the application. So we all know how ChatGPT looks, right? So let's say I'm saying hi. So it's actually responding back. So this is any chat interface that we want to do. So first thing, what we will try to do is we will try to create a front end for this application. So let's say I'm asking, how are you doing? So ChatGPT is now giving responses something like this. So first, what we will try to do is we will try to design a chat box that looks something like this, right? So there are many tools that you can use to build front end of the application. And again, AI tools. Okay. So what we will do is we will build the front end of the application using some many websites. So we can use any one of them. But for now, let me just use Bold.new to create a front end for the application first. So let me go to Bold.new. So I'm already in this. So this is a website, AI website builder. So which will allow us to create interfaces easily. So the question is, what do you see in this? So whenever you see a chat window, I think this is an older screenshot, but the thing is, whenever you are looking at the front end of ChatGPT, which looks like something like this. So what are the elements that you see in this? Any guesses, any answers? What are the different things that you see in this interface?
Chat box,
Chat box,
icons,
icons, where are these icons? Okay.
Navbar.
Nav bar, there is no nav bar in this. Text box. Okay. So what we will try to do is, if you look at it carefully, what are all the front end things that we have? So in front end, we have this part where there is a text box where a user can enter something, right? And user's question should be visible on the screen. So user, whenever he texts something, it's on the left hand side of the screen. So whenever AI is mentioning something, it is on the, sorry, this is on right hand side, this is on left hand side. So this is a very simple UI that we have. So what we will try to do is, we know in our front end we have to do all these things, right? So what we can do is we can directly go to bold.new and say create a chat interface. Uh, and you can just mention what are all the things that you want. Users, AI chat interface. Users should be able to enter the chat, enter the chat in the bottom, in the text box, bottom of the screen. And let's say, and one other thing is, I can just switch on my dictation. Human message should be displayed on the left hand side. Okay, I think there is some typing issue. Human messages should be displayed on right. AI messages on left. So let me just type this thing. So now this AI editor is actually looking at the query that we have sent and it's going to create some interface for us. So we'll wait for a couple of seconds and see how it is creating an interface for that. So for people who are wondering what all this code is, so this is basically, so instead of just giving you a component, it's actually writing the code from scratch. So the UI is loading. So we just asked it the question and we gave back the response. So here, if I say hi, so it's giving some question. So this is what we got, but the UI is just not like ChatGPT anywhere. So how can we tune it more to make it look like ChatGPT? Any other suggestions anyone has? How can we make the interface look more like ChatGPT?
Option to dark mode, light mode, that option is there.
Okay, option for dark mode. Add an option for dark mode. Okay. What else? What are the other changes that you see that you can make in this?
Chat history.
Okay. There is a part for chat history as well. Okay. So we will currently focus the core on the interface first, then we will go to chat history also. So the
Icons.
process, make it look like ChatGPT and we can send it. Okay. So we can actually give some changes. So give an option for dark mode, make sure that the UI is displayed like this or like that, so on and so forth. So let us try that.
Can we not send the screenshot of ChatGPT and ask it to prepare it? An
Yeah, so
interface.
that yeah, I'm actually about to get there. So I was just about to write points. So the thing is, you can just add options and copy paste one other things. But as of today, most code editors that you're using are multimodal. So instead of just giving in text as an input, instead of just copy pasting all the text that we have, so we can actually give it an image of what you want to be replicated. So what I can do is, instead of trying to figure out how to give all these instructions, so I'll just go back to ChatGPT and I'll just try to take a screenshot of this interface. So I have taken a screenshot right now and I'll go back to the code editor and I'll just copy paste the image that I have seen. Clone this interface. Or maybe I'll just say use this interface for the chat.
One doubt
So
here
you
is
can
how it is writing code. Yeah,
how
you
to
can
what?
see how it's writing code in IDE.
So yeah, it's actually called Bolt. So it comes inbuilt with an IDE so that it can write and edit all the code in real time.
Okay, we can integrate Bolt in our IDE, is it? As extension like that?
No, you can't do that. But you can download Bolt as an application, open source.
Oh, okay, okay.
So yeah, so we just asked it to create some interface and it has created some interface as we can see. Of course, this is not exact, but we can refine it more. So the idea is to create any interface instead of let's say for for anyone to create interfaces before ChatGPT came or before using tools like this, you had to write each and every line yourself. So to create, even though we had to create this is a simple interface, you see that these are all the code files that were required to actually make that happen. So earlier we used to write each and every line or each and every punctuation by ourselves. So now most of it is being written by AI, which is great. So now what is happening in this? Let's assume that we are close to the interface. But now the problem here is I send some message and I'm getting this response. So let me ask, how are you? So it's giving the same response. I'm telling anything, it's giving the same response. So why is this happening? So in the image or maybe in the code that we have used so far, so we have just created the front end. Front end part is what front end part is what the user is able to see. So, but whenever a user is typing a question, I say, whenever I'm typing, hello, how are you? Ideally, what should have happened? That this how are you should actually go to GPT model, and then GPT model should give us back the response, right? So now we are at a more or less a comfortable situation in the terms of front end, because we can just take a screenshot, we uploaded it, and we got an interface which is almost ready to use. But the problem now is, how can we connect it to the backend? So whenever I give it any question, whenever I say how are you, or maybe explain something, to get the answer, we need to send it to an LLM. So since we are creating a replica of ChatGPT, we have to use GPT models. But in any case, you can actually use a Llama model, or you can use any other models also as you wish. So in this, I will show you how you can connect your application to the backend. So let me show you a small code example for you to understand this. And then we will take that code, and if we connect it to our uh, application in here, so we are done with our job. So this is what we will try to achieve right now. So let me show you how you can connect it to the application. So for ChatGPT replica or maybe something like this, we don't need a lot of complicated code. We only need a couple of lines of code at a time, and we will be able to do it. So I'll just roughly walk you through the steps that you can note. And then we will try to use the similar code to this to create an application also. So in the first step, what I'm doing is I want to use GPT model using OpenAI. So I have downloaded this OpenAI LangChain package, so which will allow me to connect the model. So the thing is, we want to use a GPT model, so we need OpenAI Python library, so that we have downloaded. So now in the next step, what we need to do is see these open GPT models and all are not free to use. So whenever you use them, OpenAI will actually bill you. So to access these models, you generally need an API key. So API key is generally, you can consider it as a password to use that. So you can go to the link that is mentioned here. So platform.openai.com, and you can get your own API key. So I have saved my API key already. So API key is secret to everyone, so you should not share it. So I've just saved it in my notebook, and I'm just running this. So now in the next step, what we can do is, let's say whenever you're using a ChatGPT free model, you are actually using a ChatGPT free version. Whenever you're actually using a model called GPT-4o mini. So now let me show you how you can use this GPT-4o mini model using Python within just a couple of lines of code. So as you can see, I have saved the API key here, and I have downloaded the package as well. So as a next step, what I will do is, within 2 lines of code, with this 2 lines of code, we can actually start a GPT-4o mini model, start or initiate a GPT-4o model. So let me run this. Now what I can do is I can just ask the model anything. So now I'm asking, hello, how are you? Ideally, this message should go to this model, and this model should give us some response. So let me run this. So we are actually getting the response, right? So you are asking, hello, how are you? And it's telling, hello, I'm just a computer program. I don't have any feelings and so on. So let's say, let us try with a different prompt. Can you teach me AI? So let's say, let me ask this question. Okay. So let me run this. So what will happen here is, now the GPT model will read this question, and within some time we will also see the response. Right. So I asked it, can you teach me AI? And it's able to do this. So now this is the 3-4 lines of code that you will need. So whenever someone is using your front end, or maybe when someone is using the interface, if we are able to connect this, so if we are able to connect our hi hello to the model and get the response and show it, then our work is done, right? So if I go back to Bolt, here, what is happening? So whenever I'm sending any message, it's by default going to, it's not going anywhere. We are just getting response as it is. So now what we will try to do is, whenever someone sends any message, we will send it to ChatGPT and we will display the correct response. So let us go back to the notebook again and let's just revisit this. So any questions on this part? How we are initializing AI model? So just 3 lines of code to actually use a powerful GPT model in Python. So any questions or queries on this? Okay, I guess there are no questions. So let me go forward then. So one other bonus is that, since we have the interface ready, it doesn't really matter if you are actually using a GPT model or a Llama model or any other model, right? So what we will try to do is, in this we have seen how we can use a GPT model. So can I use a Llama model also? So I have the interface ready, so it shouldn't matter. So instead of sending it to GPT, I would rather send it to a Llama model. I would rather send it to a Llama model, and the Llama model can also give me the answer. So since we are the one who are creating the application from scratch, so we have this flexibility. So let us also look at the code where you can connect your LLMs to a Llama model or some other model. So let's say I'm installing this library called LangChain Grok. So Grok is again a service that will give you Llama APIs, right? So let me run this. Grant access. So now what I can just do is I can just see print response.control. So what I can do is I can just, instead of using a GPT model, I'm using a Llama 3.3 model. So let me just run this. So you can see how fast the response is. So I'm asking, who are you? So it's giving me this response. So you can also try something else as well. Explain evolution theory or something. So you can see within a couple of seconds, we got this entire response. Right. So, which model you want to use is up to you, because at the end of the day, if you are using code, just by changing the model name or just by changing the library name, you can change the LLM model. So that is how simple it is. So if you want to know other models that Grok has, you can go to their website. In this, the link will be there. Okay, I guess what's that? Okay, I guess their website is down, or maybe my internet is slow. Okay, I can show you an alternate website. So there are a lot of websites like this. So it's not only Grok. So there is a website called Deep Infra, so which gives you APIs for DeepSeek models, Gemma models, and many other models that are out there, right? So what you can do is you can just go and explore this website and see different models that are available. So now what we have done is we have done front end and we have done back end, right? We have done both the things in very simple manner. But now the idea is how can I connect these both, right? So now this is a rough interface that I have created. So let's say I say hello. Okay, this is an old one. So okay, no worries. So what we can actually do is, if you look at the chat, so whenever we send any message, we'll just need to connect it. So let's say I go back to Bolt. Let me go back to Bolt. And now what I will try is, in the code, it's just giving me a standard response every time. And now what I will do is integrate OpenAI model to get responses in the chatbot. So this is what I'm instructing Bolt to do. So ideally, it has written all the code. So I'm assuming that Bolt will understand this also. So let me run this one. So you can see that you don't have to do a lot. It automatically gives. But we might run into a problem very soon due to this. You will understand why. So it's actually doing some editing. Okay, so now it's asking me to take my API key and store it somewhere in here. So I can go back to this. So it's asking me to save an API key. So to get an API key, you can directly go to OpenAI's website like this. So you should not share your API key with anyone, but otherwise I'll just showing you how you, if it's your first time, how you can generate it. So you go to this link platform.openai.com and then you will see this. So I have a lot of API keys created already. So what I can do is I can just create a new one and I will just say replica. I'm giving whatever name I want, copying it, going back to this. I'll just paste it, copy. So now let us see. Hi. So it's telling, hello, how can I help today? I don't think it's giving any new response. So let us try with something else. Tell me a joke. So it's actually giving the joke also. So it does actually work, right? So I told it to integrate OpenAI and it has integrated OpenAI. And within the code, all I had to do was to add this OpenAI API key and it started working. So let me ask the same question I asked in this. Can you teach me AI? So let me go back. So now what is happening is, okay, we can see that the response is also there. So now what we were able to do is we have just taken, we didn't write a single line of code ourselves, right? So I showed you the code example to show you how easy it is. But otherwise, the rest of the work was done by Bolt itself. So if I go back, so I can just create a chatbot like this. Simple, as simple as this. So this is completely something that you have created. So it look more or less like ChatGPT. But let's say if you want to make some changes, if you want to take this chatbot and deploy within your company or maybe do customizations on this. So let's say instead of ChatGPT, I want my company name to be there. And here in terms of this thing, I want to display my course link. So what I can do is in the heading, instead of ChatGPT, I'll just say write build fast with AI. In the footer, talk about our course, right? Give link for Gen course. I can just copy paste the link of the course. So as mentioned, we do a 8-week long course on generative AI, teaching you all the basics of how you can do that. So I can just so yeah, building ChatGPT replica is covered in a lot detail within the course as well. So where you will try to learn different aspects. So there are some parts in this lecture where I had to speed through, but generally in our course, building a ChatGPT replica is an entire module. So where you will try to understand different components like memory, saving chat histories, and everything else. So for now, I'll just make this change, and I will say I want the footer to be in blue color. Let's say make sure it is in blue color. And sometimes Bolt attempts to make a lot of changes. Don't make any other changes. So if I just mention this and I send, it will start working on it again. So we got the UI, we got the functionality, and now we are just doing customization. So we are building our own ChatGPT replica. So we have tried to imitate them. Now we are trying to modify it as we wish. Okay, as you can see, this is the thing, right? So I just, instead of ChatGPT, I said write build fast with AI and has written that. And in the bottom, I asked it to add a link about Gen AI course. So it has added the link as well. So let me click on this to see if it is working. Yeah, I think it's a server problem, but you can see that the link is actually given correct. Yeah, so you can see if I scroll on this, so you can see on the left hand side, it is pointing to the right code. So this is how you can take a GPT model. This is how you can take a GPT model. You can create a quick interface and you can do this. So any questions or queries, if anyone wants to do any over the top modifications on this, you can let me know and we will do the changes right away. So we will try to make 2-3 amazing changes on top of this. So let us try to do that. Yeah, so here the question is online. So if you want it to work offline, you will have to connect it to a local model. So currently, whenever we have created this application, we have connected it to GPT that is outside. That is why it is not that. And one thing about Bolt is also that you can also change the code. If you are comfortable with code, you can go back to the code and change it as you like. So one thing that if I look at this code currently, one thing that I feel is problematic is that it is actually using a GPT 3.5 turbo model. So GPT 3.4 turbo is a very old model, right? So we don't want to use that. So let's say I want to use GPT-4 model. I can just say GPT-4 O, let's say mini, or maybe let me use a bigger model only. And let me just save. Once I have saved it, I can go back to preview, overload, load. Who are you? Or maybe I can ask which model are you? So it's based on 3.5 architecture. So I don't think the change was reflected. So let me just. Yeah, we have changed it here, but let me just refresh it. So now it's GPT-4o, it's giving a bigger answer, not directly mentioning. Okay. Okay, there are few questions here. So one question is, would you talk about how to train the model on your own data for this service? Yeah, you can actually do that. So there are different ways. You can either fine tune the model or you can give it access to some external database as well using RAG. Uh, would I talk about it right now in this session? So we are almost at the end. So not today maybe. But yeah, so in our course, we have an entire section dedicated to RAG where we cover different techniques that you can use to implement it. There is one more question, how to fine tune a model. How to fine tune a model, again, a topic for a different day because uh, so fine tuning is basically you are taking a model and training it on a new set of data. So it could be like you're training a model on uh, a new domain data. So let's say train it on medical documents so that it is more accurate in that. You can train it on agriculture data so that it's able to give better predictions, so on. And there is one question about different models. So what is the purpose of using different models? So you might ask me, okay, it's a 3.5 model. Now I changed it to GPT-4o model. So what's the purpose? So why do I need to change the models? So the thing is, use bigger models for complicated tasks. So if you are using it for some reasoning, so let's say if you are using this chat GPT, so even in chat GPT also, what you have is there are different models within chat GPT. I think so whenever you click on this button called reason, it is actually using a model called O3 mini. So O3 mini is a very powerful model, right? And it only ChatGPT free version only allows a couple of only few times to use it. So whenever you are working on a complicated problem, use a bigger model. If it's not a complicated question or maybe simple conversation, just use it directly. And there are hundreds of models, so you can test which models work best for your purpose and use it directly. So you might already have some reasons to learn about Gen AI, but I'll tell you two main reasons for you to learn generative AI is because it will actually help you become 10 to 100x more productive. So right, writing, or you have just seen it right now, right? So ChatGPT, if you were to create everything by yourself, think how much time would it take? Maybe 1 month, 2 months, if you're writing everything by yourself, start to end. But with ChatGPT, I was able to, by using AI, I was able to create the same website within 5 minutes. So I was explaining, so it took 20 minutes. But if I were to just start doing everything myself, I could have done it in 5 minutes. So what would have otherwise taken 1 month? So it's easily making me 50 to 100x more productive in this job, right? And second reason why you will need to learn generative AI is to protect yourself from automation. So it's no secret that people will lose jobs to AI, right? So learning AI will actually help you, future proof your career. So these are two main reasons why you should learn today. So we have this generative AI launchpad course, which is a 6+2 course. So 6 weeks of theory plus 2 weeks of building. So even in these 6 weeks also, we'll be building a lot of applications, but last 2 weeks we'll spend on building your own ideas. So we have this course which is starting very soon in few days. This course is actually designed for you to get started with your generative AI from 0 to 1. So we cover basics of generative AI. We talk about some prompt templates. We talk about fine tuning. So many people ask question about fine tuning. So in our course, we have an entire module, entire week dedicated to fine tuning. And we also to create chatbots on your own data. So that is called RAG. That is covered in second module. and agents, which is the most popular topic in the AI world today. So that's an entire module 4. So the tools that you are seeing like Bolt, we also introduce a lot of tools like Cursor, uh, V0 and all other tools. So these are covered as in the part of module 5. And in module 6, we have a lot of other topics as well. So by going through the course, you will understand everything, every core concept that is in generative AI. So that is there. So if you want to register for the course or want to know more details, all you have to do is just to say hi on the chat. So since we already have your details from Zoom, so we will send you the promo code and other details that are required to register for the course. So if you want to know more or want to know, sorry, if you want to know more about the course or uh, sign up for this, all you have to do is to just say hi, and we will note your name and we will give you the exclusive promo code and steps to register for this. Great. So, what are the things that you will get in the course? So, we will have live lectures on weekends. Every Saturday, we do a 2-hour lecture, and then you will get access to our hundreds of videos that we publish on our premium platform. So, the premium platform is only accessible by people who have signed up for the course. So, if you go to the premium platform, we have hundreds of videos that are available that will help you get started, and a few other benefits. So we have doubt solving sessions on the weekdays. We have daily check-ins. We have the entire premium platform with a lot of AI features that will help you learn faster. So if you want to know, if you want to sign up for the course or want to know more, just say hi on the chat and we will help you get registered for the course. So we have the course starting soon. So we have uh, some discounts going on. So if you say hi on the chat, we will reach out to you and send the relevant details. So what I'm doing is I'm going to this bot called Claude. So for this, I'm just say, give me the code or maybe create a snake game in React. So basically, whenever I say React, it's actually creating a web component, uh, and it's actually writing the code to create that game. So once the code is ready, so we should be able to play the game. So let us see. So actually creating the entire game from scratch. Okay, let me see. Left, down, left, right, go down. So this is the game that I've created. So if you want to play this game, so I'll just click on publish, copy link. So now my artifact or my app is available for you to use. So I go back to the chat and I'll just say, so you can also open this chatbot and you can do this. So let's say if you're designing, if you're a designer, if you're a product manager or anything, you can just create a design using this chatbot and you can share it with your teammates very easily. Okay, I think thank you everyone for joining the call today. It's been great. Hope you all learned something new and hope to see you all in our future courses and workshops. So until then, we'll meet you.